Class, today we are going to learn how to turn real-life situations into math inequalities. An inequality is just like an equation, but instead of using only equal, we use special signs like lesser than equal to, larger than equal to, lesser than, and larger than. Think about this. If I say you can eat at most 3 ice creams, that means you can eat 0, 1, 2, 3, but not more. That's x lesser than equal 3. If I say you must have at least 5 pencils to join the game, that means 5 or more pencils. That's x larger than equal to 5. So inequalities help us show limits, conditions, and comparisons in real life. So in today's class, we will take sentences like when 4 times a number is decreased by 3, it's at most 21, and we translate them into math step by step. Let us move on to the first question. First question A, 4 times a number n is decreased by 3, it's at most 21. 4 times a number, this one, meaning 4 times n. Decreased by 3. Decreased by 3 is minus 3. It's at most 21. At most, we will use lesser and equal than 21. So you can just mix it or combine it together for n minus 3 lesser than equal to 21. Okay, then you will need to find your n values by solving the equation by using APE, additive properties of equality, plus 3 both sides. You will have 24 for n. Next, you will use MPE, multiplicative property of equality. You divide 4 both sides and it will give n is equal to lesser than equal to 6. So as a conclusion, the number must be 6 or smaller. So tips for you is when questions say at most meaning that lesser and equal than. At least meaning that larger and equal than. No more than means lesser than equal to. No less than meaning larger than equal to. B, when 6 is less 3 times a number. 3 times a number. This one means 3n. 6 less meaning minus 6. So we will have 3n minus 6 is increased by 2. Increased by 2 is plus 2. It's at least. At least will be larger and equal to 5 times. Meaning 5n. The same number decreased by 6. Decrease meaning minus 8. So you can see that you will combine this, and then the other one is this, and this. So in that state, you will have 3n minus 6, n minus 4, 5n minus 8. And then you will minus 5n both sides. It gives you 2n minus 4 minus 8. Okay, and then you will plus 4 both sides. So it gives you minus 4 minus 2n. Remember, you will need to divide negative 2 both sides. So when you divide negative 2, in inequality, when you multiply or divide a negative number, you will need to flip the inequality sign. So you will have n lesser than negative 4 divide negative 2, which is 2. So remember to flip the sign when you multiply or divide any negative number in inequality. So the conclusion is the number must be 2 or smaller. Okay, remember that you need to draw the remember that you need to determine or write down the interval notation. So before you determine any interval notation, please draw the number line. Okay, I have lesser than 2, meaning I will have 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, and so on. So I will draw a closed circle to the left. So how do I determine my interval notation? Interval notation is, we need to read the interval notation from left to right. So left is the arrow. The arrow is going to the left, never ends. So it is -infinity. And then right ends at 2. Stop at 2. So 2. The number included. So I need to use square bracket. C, find all numbers such that a third of a number increased by half that number is at least 3 less than that same number. First step is you need to read the problem. Second, you can just let the number to n. Number is n. So third step is translate each phase. Well, a third of a number meaning 1/3 n. Increase by half meaning I will add plus 1/2 n. At least I will use larger and equal to 3 less than that same number. So meaning n minus 3. So now you can see that this and this will be combined in the left side, meaning that we have left and right. So in the middle, I have at least sign, which is larger and equal to. On the left, I have 1/3, and on my right, I have n minus 3. So now I already construct my inequalities form, and I will need to solve my n. So as simple as this one is like term, so I can add it up, become times 2 both sides, up and down, and then times 3 to make it same denominator. So I have 2/6n plus 3/6 larger than n minus 3. So that I can add up my numerator become 5/6n. So then I will minus n both sides using APE, additive property of equality. So minus n, this one will cut off. So on my left, I will have -1/6n larger than -3. So then this is multiply, and wow, this is a negative number. I need to remember when I divide any negative number, I will need to flip my sign. So I divide -1/6 both sides, divide -1/6 both sides. It will give me n, flip my sign to the left. So n is equal to 18. Because I have minus, meet minus, and it become positive. So as conclusion, I will have n lesser than and equal to 18. So n lesser than and equal to 18, the interval will be, if I draw a number line, it will be 17, 16, 18. So I can see that my circle is a closed circle to the left. Meaning, if I need to read the interval notation, I will read from left to right. Left is this arrow, right? This arrow will never go n to the left, meaning it is -infinity. And I need to remember the interval notation for negative infinity or infinity. It will be a circle bracket or curve bracket, comma. My right value is 18. 18 is included, so I will use square bracket. Be very careful while doing the interval notation. That you have, and I will let the smaller integer to be n. Integer to be n. Now you need to remember the consecutive part. If consecutive part, we will have two number, which one we will let it as smaller and one as larger. So smaller integer I will put as n. Larger integer I will put as n plus 1. So since here saying that two consecutive integers, for example, 1 and 2. So 1 I will let as n. To go to 2 is n plus 1. So the sum of these two is at most. Remember the keyword, at most we'll be using less than equal to. Okay? So the sum of two consecutive integer, meaning this one plus this one. So I know that on my left side, my equation should be n, this is left, and this is right. So n plus 1. At most, I know that my inequality giving me is lesser than equal to. The difference between 9 times the smaller. Okay, I need to memorize my consecutive part. 9 times the smaller. Which one is smaller? Smaller is n. So 9 times smaller, meaning that we are using 9n. And 5 times the larger. Which one is larger? N plus 1. So 5 times larger, meaning 5n. N plus 1. Okay, be very careful. And different is minus. So 9n need to minus, meaning that this term minus this term. So 9n minus 5n, n minus 5n plus 1. Okay, remember that our priority will be the parentheses. So I need to solve my parentheses. I expand it by using distributive properties. So it become 9n minus 5n minus 5. Next step, I will combine my like terms in the right side. So this is 4n minus 5. 2n plus 1. So next step is, I will minus 1 both sides. It gives me, by using additive property of inequality, additive property of equality, APE, so I will get 2n lesser than 4n minus 6. Next step is, I minus 4 both sides. Minus 4n minus 4n, 2n minus 4n. I will have negative 2n lesser than negative 6. So now is to divide negative 2 both sides. Divide negative 2. Remember that if I have dividing or multiplying any negative number in inequality, you should flip the sign to the other side. So n is, so now my interval changed to larger than after I flip the sign. So n is larger and equal to 3. And my interval, be careful, before doing my interval notation, I should draw my number line 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I will put a closed circle to the right. Then, while constructing the interval notation, you need to be very careful. Read from left to right. Left number is 3. Start from 3. And I will use square bracket to the right. Right going to infinity. They are not ending anywhere. So infinity, and my infinity will use a curved bracket. E, the sum of two consecutive even integer. So now this is only even integer. So even integer start from 2, 4. Alright, so we know that first integer is n. Second integer will be n plus 2. So if I put n2, I need to plus 2 to get 4. So I will let n and n plus 2. This will be first. The other one is second. Okay, so is at most 7 more than half the sum of the next two consecutive even integer. So this will be first. This will be next even. So the next two even, meaning n plus 4. 6 and 8. How to get 8 is n plus 6. So this is next two even. Okay? And then sum of two consecutive even integer, meaning this. So n plus 2. Okay? At most, we have this one keyword. Our keyword at most, we will use lesser, equal. Lesser and equal that. Okay, and then half. 7 more than half the sum of the next two. Sum of the next two is this. Half is 1 over 2. Okay, and then 7 more, meaning plus sum plus 7. So meaning we have half n plus 4 plus n plus 6 plus 7. Okay, just take out all the information. And then now what I need to do is I need to combine everything. So this one is 2n plus 2. The other side will be, we settle the bracket first. It is half 2n plus 10 plus 7. So then I will have, this one I need to distribute in. It will become n. Because this one divide become 1. And then half times 10 is 5. So n plus 5 plus 7. This one is 2n plus 2. Next, I will minus n both sides. I will have n. This one cut, become n plus 2 become 12. Now I minus 2 both sides. My n is actually 10. So again, how to read the interval notation? Left to right. Left to right. Left is going to the left. The arrow doesn't stop, meaning it is negative infinity. And then 10 is include. 10. Square bracket. Okay, next we move on to F. At most 315, meaning lesser than, at most is lesser than equal to 315. Okay, a hose filled with 15 gallon every minute. So how many hours it can run? So our rate will be 15 gallon over 10 minutes. So it is, we can say that 15 over 10t. Okay, so I can put 15 over 10t. Then t is, this is times, right? So we can divide 15 over 10 both sides. Divide 15 over 10. It gives us t lesser than 210 minutes. Okay, now this is in minutes. I want to convert to hours. So 210 minutes divide 60, I will get 3.5 hours. So the host can be left on for at most 3.5 hours. You can draw a number line. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3.5 will be here. To the left, arrow to the left, meaning my interval left to right. To read the interval is left to right. So start with negative infinity 3.5 square bracket. This is my interval notation. 2.2 gig being downloaded. When you downloaded half a gigabyte, meaning 1 divide 2. So it is 0.5 GB. Okay. That your computer has been downloading at the rate of this. Okay, so meaning 2.2 gig is being downloaded at a rate of this. So we know that our inequality will be 0.01 times m larger and equal to 2.2. Why we use this? Because we want 2 gig. So we want at least this amount. This is our inequality. B, I say that halfway has been downloaded. So 0.5 downloaded. So how much left? 2.2 minus 0.5, I still have 1.7 gig left. So our new inequality is 0.01 m. Okay, so now I need to solve it. So I divide 0.01 both sides by using multiplicative property of equality. So m. So 170 divide with 60 is approximately 2.83 hours. But the laptop only has 2 hours. So no for B, enough battery time. Speed 0.015 gig per minute. Remaining just now from B is 1.7 gig. So our new inequality will be 0.015 m. So now divide 0.015 both sides. I will have m is 113.3 minutes. So minutes change to hours. Divide 60. I have 1.88 hours. So with this faster speed, the game will finish under 2 hours. So yes, it is enough time. Yes. 4,500 people. So at most 4,500. So meaning that at most we'll be using lesser than 4500. That at most 4,500 people, at least 2,800 people to make money. Now inside have 850 people. People entering at 12 people per minute, and M is the number of minutes the door is open. So for A, people inside after M minute is equal to starting people plus people entering. So we want this number to be between 2008 lesser than 12M plus 850. 12M plus 850. So left side keeps it high enough, right side keeps it under the limit. This is our inequality for A. Then for B, Rewrite the inequality you found in A using n connector and then solve them in the compound inequality. Split it. 2,800 is going to the right. 2,800 going to the right. So it is actually larger than, going to the greater than. So that's why we have this sign. And then 4,500 going to the left, going to a more negative number. So lesser than. Left lesser, to the right will be more. So that's why I use lesser than. Here I use larger than. So when we split, it become like this. Okay, then the next step is always the same, minus 850 both. And then we'll have 12m larger than 1950. Then it is m divide 12 both sides. It is m 1.5. So keep the door open at least. Okay, next part. Same, minus 850. And then here is 12m. And then divide 12 both sides. I have m 304.17. So meaning that close the door by about 304.2, so we don't go over 4,500. Okay, so that means that we combine in n connector. It will be in the pink color, m lesser than 162.5 and then lesser than 304.2. In other words, our interval notation will be okay. This is for C. The rest is for B. Until here is for B. Everything here. And here is for B. Today we learned how to model real-life problems using inequalities. We saw that inequalities are not just numbers on a page, they represent limits, boundaries, and possibilities in real life. When we write an inequality, we are really saying how small something can be, how big something can be, or the range in between. We practice with number lines, open circles, and closed circles, which are just visual tools to help us see solutions. We also translated word problems like downloading games, amusement parks, and filling fish tanks into inequalities. This step is important because it shows how math connects directly to the world around us. So, there are a few things that you need to memorize. First, inequality are not about comparisons. They tells us when something is less than, greater than, or between two values. Number lines help us see the solution. Open circle equal to not included, closed circle equal to included. Modeling real problems means identifying the variables, writing the inequality, solving step by step, and then interpreting it to the number lines, and we can know the interval notation the next step. And lastly is, every time you solve, you ask yourself, what does my answer mean in this situation? Alright students, good job for today!